if you want someone with roids and back acne to pummel the shit out of you, look, I'm all here for it. There might be advantages to dating a primordial dwarf. 9-year-old taking photos with dildos. Fuck me, if this doesn't get demonetized, I don't know what will. Hello and welcome to the second greatest show on earth. That's right, it's Francis Foster, Sort Your Life Out. The show where I sort your life out. I'm not a therapist, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a psychiatrist, so that means that you know that I really know what I'm talking about. This is a show where you send in your issues, your problems, and me, with my fucking noggin, I will sort them all out for you ASAP. But before we do that, I always promise I never start a show with politics, and every week I break my promise, and this week it's no different. This week we had the ridiculous spectacle of a comedian, Reginald D. Hunter, getting investigated by the police for an incident that happened at his comedy show. Unbelievable. Actually, it's not unbelievable because the Scottish government brought in their hate speech bill, ironically enough, on April the 1st, which criminalises speech on stage, and it will be subject to an investigation if, and I quote, there is something within this performance that reasonable people might feel offended by. What's a reasonable person? I've got no idea. Certainly not someone from Scotland. Have you ever met a reasonable Scot? Hey, you fucking bastard. Fucking shove it up your ass. Have some fucking heroin. Here you go, whiskey. No, they're all mental. None of them are reasonable in any shape or form. Right. Do you know the only reason Edinburgh is reasonable in the summer? Is because everybody from England goes up there to the festival. So they're all walking around going, oh my God, oh my God. Yes, could I have a soy latte, please? Is that a pumpkin seed cupcake? Isn't that lovely? Everybody Scottish fucks off. That's the only reason that it's reasonable. Have you ever been to Glasgow? You ever seen Glasgow? Does that, on a Friday night, does that look reasonable to you? No, of course it doesn't. It's anarchy and warfare. And that's why they were great at fighting. The Ladies of Death, the Germans called them in the Second World War, due to the fact they were brilliant at fighting and they were all trans. Anyway, I digress. So there is nobody reasonable in Scotland, least of all Humza Yousaf, who brought in that law because he's an absolute grade A gimp of the highest quality. And I despise that man so much. It's unbelievable. But anyway, he decided to do the bright idea of criminalising performances in the country which hosted the Edinburgh Festival. And of course, every comedian in the UK was like, yeah, I think that's a really good idea. What could possibly go wrong? I think this is marvellous. Apart from the far-right comedians who were like, are you sure? Maybe you don't want to criminalise jokes. But no, the progressive comedians were like, no, this is really good because I've never said the wrong thing and I've always been on the wrong side of history, on the right side of history, and I think it's great. I think if you're gender critical, why shouldn't you be thrown in jail? Gimps. Anyway. So, Reginald D. Hunter was doing his show and he made a joke comparing an abusive husband to Israel. Now, is this Hack 101? Of course it is, and we all know it. You know, that's fine. You want to do that you want to do that material, you want to do it, perfect, you go ahead, no problem with it from me whatsoever. If anything, a little bit boring, but that's fine. 2 people in the audience stood up and then went, move on, I'm offended, the usual stuff. There was a bit of back and forth. Someone shouted out Free Palestine. Of course they did. Liberal Woke Arts Festival. Free Palestine. And then everybody said get out. And then they had to, and then there was a back and forth. Then they left. Then they had to leave. Then Reginald D. Hunter got investigated by the police as a result of that. He apologised for the joke. Don't ever apologise for a joke. Never apologise for a joke. That's where I am. I'm going full Trump on this shit. He's a great man. Vote who you want. Vote for who you want. But I'm only approaching this from a comedic perspective. Donald Trump is the best stand-up comedian in the world operating today. And I use this as a piece of evidence. If Dave Chappelle releases a new special, there's going to be a lot of people who watch it. Joe Rogan releases a new special. Same with Bill Burr. Same with a whole host of other comedians. But if Trump releases his Netflix special, I guarantee that every single human being on the planet will be watching that I certainly will be, and he will absolutely destroy. The man has got solid gold bangers, and he just makes him up. He is a genius. He's a literal genius when it comes to stand-up comedy. I don't know how he does it personally. In fact, I think that's the reason why so many comedians hate him, is because they look at him and they go, I'm never going to be as funny as that. Do you remember what he said when he was interviewed by former guest of TRIGGERnometry, Megyn Kelly? And she said, you said that women were pigs, overweight, had bad breath, or what, all these things. And he went, no, just Rosie O'Donnell. You can't write that. The whole crowd erupted in laughter. Of course I did, because he is an absolute maestro. And that's the problem. What we have now is that Donald Trump is now funnier than not apart from me, every stand-up comedian, because we now live in this culture of censorship where comedians are being investigated for their jokes. I'm going to be honest with you. There's loads of comedians that should be investigated for jokes, but I should be the one doing the fucking investigating. I should be the one. Me. I'm the one who knows what's what. I should be the one going around there with a little clipboard going, oh, all right, you've mentioned your pronouns, right, throw him in jail. What's that? Gender's a social construct, in fucking jail. I'd put them all in jail. It'd be good. And do you know what? It'd be an act of kindness, because their life in jail is a hell of a lot better than their life on the outside, let me tell you. So yeah, so that is what I would do if I was a ruler of the world. I'd throw them all in jail. I wouldn't throw Reg in jail, but I'd throw all the rest of them in jail. So that's where we are. Absolutely ridiculous. And what a week I have had, Elliot. My dad, God bless him, nearly 79 years old. I took my parents out yesterday afternoon, and he went to park the car near the restaurant, but he slipped, put his foot on the accelerator, and went through a newsagent window. There you go. Like, I think I'm rock and roll. My dad is rock and roll. How rock and roll is that? Putting a car through a window. Admittedly, he is a yellow Kia, so not that rock and roll. But look, that's like something out of The Who. That's like something out of Keith Moon, driving a car into a swimming pool. My dad's way more rock and roll than me. And whilst we're in the restaurant eating, he was there getting spoken to by the police like an absolute legend. The police came in to breathalyze him. Did they have a breathalyzer? What do you think? No, of course they didn't. Why would the police have a breathalyzer? So my poor old man, who was a bit shaken up because he was in an accident, then had to wait 45 minutes for someone to come and breathalyze him. Luckily, the owner of the shop, what a gentleman he was, very, very, very nice man. And we had a little bit of a chat and a conversation, so it was all good. He was very understanding. But yeah, it was just a drama to no end. And like, there was one police officer as well who was getting like a little bit, like with my dad, a little bit aggressive. So, mate, he's 80 years old. I'll fucking deck you, slag. No, I won't. I'll get a couple of Glaswegians down from Glasgow. Where else would they be? Obviously, I'd pay them in heroin and whiskey. And then I'd just set them on the police. That is obviously a joke. I wouldn't set the Glaswegians on the police. That's the last thing the police need. And that would actually be a complete losing battle. Glaswegians versus police. No, mate. Glasgow winning every fucking time. And I'm not even talking about the healthy ones. I'm talking about the heroin-addicted zombies with eyeballs falling out of their brains and 3 teeth. You're going, hey. And that kind of sounded like a pirate. I realised that. But, it's interesting because I've been getting back into comedy. I've been doing comedy a lot. I've been seeing a lot of young people, Elliot. And all you lot do is you bang on about your mental health all the time. All the time. It's mental health, mental health, mental health, mental health. It's like, do you know what would help my mental health? You shutting up about your mental health. I don't want to hear it. I don't care. I'm not an expert. Send in your problems. But no, like all the time, people banging on. Oh, my mental health's bad. My mental health, I've got anxiety or depression. Maybe you don't have anxiety and depression. Maybe what you need to do is to tell people to fuck off. Maybe if you did that, you wouldn't have so much anxiety or depression. The moment someone pissed you off, you go, you know what, mate? Fucking up there, mate. How much better would you feel? Of course, you'd feel 1,000,000 times better. Tell your boss to fuck off. Do it. Do it right now. What's he going to do? You all work remotely. He's not going to be able to say anything, is he? And the moment he starts chatting back, close the laptop. So we got to do, just close the laptop. He's see what's he going to do? Send you a thumbs down on Zoom? No, fuck him. The power is yours. And then when he calls you into a meeting, go off sick, right, and say, oh, I'm depressed, can't work, 6 weeks off work. Then he brings you back in, say, oh, I need another 6 weeks off. Then when he brings you back in again, tell him that meetings make you anxious. What's he going to do? Checkmate. There's nowhere you can go. So he'll give you a big payout. You've beaten the system. And that is already value for money that you have got from this podcast. That, my friends, is why I have 2.5k subscribers on YouTube, and we are going to the moon. I got a call from Joe Rogan yesterday. He told me he's worried. He said, Francis, I'm worried. I'm worried that you're going to catch me up. I'm worried about the competition. I said, Joe, you should be worried, mate, because with 2.5k, this is just the beginning, my brother. This is the start. This is the beginning of the movement. Now, I've got no idea where we're moving to or what that movement might actually be, but we are moving, and we are moving somewhere. I have no idea where. So suffice to say, right, we're going to take over the world one step at a time. I've got my cryptocurrency. It's called Minge Coin. And, you can find it there. Please, for God's sake, don't buy it. It's utterly worthless. Apart from if you believe in Minge. If you believe in Minge, invest in Minge. That's what I've always said. That's actually not my line. That is a line from Plato. Don't believe me? Go and Google it. If you want Minge, you've got to invest in Minge. Plato. So there we go. So there's been so much happening. It's been a wonderful time. You know, comedians are being investigated by police. Great. What could go wrong? We're now living in a Starmer wonderland, as the football fans will say, where everybody's going to be investigated for 15 minutes. You're going to get investigated. It's going to be like Oprah Winfrey. You're going to get investigated. You're going to get investigated. The cat's going to be investigated because it walked across the keyboard and tweeted something that might be gender critical. So Tibbles is going to get investigated as well. Everybody on this planet is going to get investigated. And you know what that's going to do? That's going to make us safer. That's going to make us safer as a country. It's going to make us better as a country, because then every single one of you will be in prison, and that is how we ensure safety in Starmer's Britain. Anybody with the wrong opinions, throw them away, lock them up. That's brilliant. That's what we need to do with every single person until the only person left in charge is Keir Starmer, and he is going to be the one telling people what to do, what to say, and what to think. And do you know what, Keir? I'm here for it, mate. Because I listen, I think that is a beautiful thing. I don't want to live with freedom. I don't want to live with free thought. I don't want to live with any of these things. I want to live where you go, and then you put me in jail. Do you know, this is the difference between you and Hitler, mate? I mean, there's a lot of differences, to be fair. Broad brushstrokes, but who cares? It's the internet. Is that at least when Hitler was basically clamping down on speech, he was going, nice, and he was off his head on meth. Like, he looked like he was at slamming vinyl at a rave, like girding away, chomping away, sweating. He looked like he was actually in it, giving it some. Whilst you are the worst. You just sit there going, so what I'm saying, mate, like, if you want to go full dictator, and I know you do, you've even got the cheeky little haircut, I know it's in you, son, you really want to go full dictator. Anybody who criticizes any type of religion, man, let's talk about it, Islam, you just want to go up to him and go, throw him into prison, throw away the key, right? I know that's what you want. You're going to need some oomph. You're going to need some pizzazz. You're going to need some force. You're going to need to give it some welly, right? And you're not going to be able to do it until you change that voice of yours. I'm just saying, mate. Listen, Keir, listen to me. You want to go for that second term win? You've got to play the strong man, mate. You can't do it with that voice, all right? Just have a little think about it. So that's been my week. I want to hear about your week. I want to hear what you really think. I want to hear about your problems, your challenges, what you're thinking, what you're feeling, in order that I can help you to become better, freer, a complete human being, so that when you do get arrested, You know, it's going to be for something worthwhile as opposed to women have vaginas. You don't want to get arrested for that. That is so 2022. Let's get arrested for things that are actually interesting. This is all satirical, and I do not mean a single word I say. So please, YouTube and the gods and goddesses and the god X, the gooks of YouTube, because they do not have gender, please do not try and have me done for whatever you want to have me done for. So we are going to move over to the problem section of the podcast. But thank you all for watching, for listening. Make sure to like and subscribe. And then, because we've got 2.5k, but we're going to the moon, baby.
And before we sort everyone's lives out, I'd pick up on something that's incredibly important that happened this week in the news that you missed out.
What?
And it threatens to unravel the very fabric of Western civilization.
Go for it. What is it?
Molly May and Tommy Fury breaking up.
Molly May and Tommy Fury. And is this important to your generation?
Incredibly.
Why?
Because they're on Love Island and they're famous and they're influencers.
Yeah, but...
And they're rich.
Yeah, but at least, right, look, let's do the difference between your generation and my generation. My generation had Posh and Bex, right? Okay. Posh, whatever you think about her, she was a part of the biggest, I would say the biggest all-female girl group in the world, right? And at one time, you could argue probably the biggest pop group in the world at that time. David Beckham was a brilliant footballer who was captain of England, played for England over 100 times, won the Champions League, played for Real Madrid, AC Milan, PSG, Manchester United, LA Galaxy. But we don't have to talk about that bit. He did it for the money. Come on. It's all right. Bex, I know you want to come on the show. He's a big fan, Bex. He loves it. So I don't get it. I'm just saying, like, you will say, people said my generation were vacuous, but look at the caliber of those people compared to Tommy Fury. Is he even a good boxer?
Yeah.
What do you mean, yeah?
He's got a six-pack, so he must be.
He's not even the best boxer in the Fury family. I mean, let's be fair. I mean, Tyson Fury's a generational boxer. Tyson, we love you. He's much better looking than Tyson. Is he half brother?
I think they're half brothers, yeah.
There must be, because when it came to looks, Tyson and Tommy, they're very different. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Tommy does look like a male model. You know, and look, he beat Jake Paul. I've seen the documentary. He did very well. And what does Molly May do?
She's an orator.
She's an orator.
Very famous quotes from her podcasts.
All right. So have you got any famous quotes?
Yeah.
Go for it.
Beyonce has the same 24 hours in the day that we do. And I just think, like, you're given one life and it's up to you what you do with it. You can literally go in any direction.
I mean, she's not wrong. If more people had that mindset, they would maybe achieve a lot more.
You know, she got cancelled for that.
Yeah, of course she did. Did she say that on Diary of a CEO?
Yeah.
I know what you did, Stephen Bartlett, another one who watches the show. And I'm on to you, mate. He's another one who's scared by my 2.5k subscribers. How many have we got, actually?
Yeah, 2.5 at the moment.
Yeah, 2.5. Stephen's scared as well. They all are, mate. They're all terrified that I'm going to come after them, metaphorically. So, yeah, okay, so Molly May said that. What else has Molly May said? I actually agree with Molly May on that instance, can I just say? Which is probably why she got cancelled. Go on.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it. Well, look, a beautiful woman and a great mind. And a mother. So, how many kids have they got?
I think one or two.
One or two. Okay, so a mother. Do you know, Western civilization has got a problem with replacement rates, birthing rates. Molly May and Tommy are doing their thing. Apparently, he was a bit of a shagger by all accounts. There you go. Good man, Tommy. So, to all the people, basically to Tommy and Molly, I love and respect you. We hope you work it out. Do it for the children. It's not about yourselves anymore. Have a think, selfish pricks.
But you know what it got me thinking about?
What did it get you thinking about?
You've got this show,
yes,
sorting people's lives out.
Yeah.
All their relationship issues.
Yeah.
You're 42.
Yes.
You're single.
Yes.
Why don't you apply to go on Love Island?
Why don't I apply to go on Love Island? Because I'm too sexy. I would just go in and I would dominate. I couldn't go on Love Island. I'm 42 years old, Elliot. I'm 42. I'm not in great shape. And also, and this people will be surprised to hear this when they listen to this. I don't really enjoy small talk. Like, we're going to talk about stuff. We're going to talk about stuff. I don't really like. I went to a bar the other night, and like with two comedians after a gig. Did I crush it? Of course I did. And we started talking to people, women, and I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like talking. I'm just sitting there going, this just feels like admin, but I've got to do banter as well. And then you've got like the noise from the pub, which was triggering me because I'm autistic. I was like, no, I can't do it. I don't like it. You know what it feels like? It feels like a job interview. It feels like a job interview, but I don't know what I'm interviewing for. I don't know what the role is. I don't know the criteria. I don't know if I'm doing well at it. And the worst bit is, I don't even know if the fucking job's open or available, or if there's a vacancy. No one tells you. So you're in there, and then you're meant to be like enjoying it. It's awful. Do you enjoy this?
No, especially when it's over loud music and you can't even hear what they're saying.
Exactly. No part of it is enjoyable. And people are like, oh, you've got to get out there. No, I don't want to get out there. I couldn't think of anything worse. That's why I like doing this. This is why I like comedy. I come out a couple of times a week. I ran into a microphone. Nothing makes sense. People tune in because they recognize brilliance. Of course you do. And that's it. And people tune in and they love it. And they love it. That's what they love more than anything else. I can't do it. See, if I did this in a pub, this is mental illness. They'd ask me to leave, you know, unless they're one of the 2.5 thousand lovely people who have signed up for this. No, mate, I can't do it. I can't. I just wouldn't be able to do it. Do you know what? I admire people who go on Love Island in a way. Oh, why would you do that? Why would you go and have like, I've watched, you know, I tried to watch Love Island. It was like being on the night bus in Croydon. That was a caliber of conversation. It's just people just talking to each other about, so do you prefer spaghetti or rice? That's it. That's what you're getting. Now, I'm not saying that I'm a great mind, of course I am, but why do you love Love Island so much? Why does your generation love Love Island?
Well, I think more importantly, if you're going to criticize it, what would your opening line be?
What, do you have to have an opening line?
Bird, yeah. You're sat down in the villa.
Look, love, I hate to break it to you, but it's not going to get any better than this. Look, in life, the thing that's going to see you through is having a ruthless, pragmatic streak. See all of them out there with their six packs and their hair and, you know, their hope. It's not going to go anywhere. It's not. What you want, right, is it's like getting a car. You don't want to get a Ferrari. It's going to break down and you're going to have to service it. It's highly strung. You know, it's fundamentally impractical. You need a Kia Picanto, my darling. And this is just the guy. You're getting a Kia Picanto, you'll get a decent ride, and you can have it for 10 years. What's better than that? What's better than that? What's better than that? You can have it for 10 years, and you'll be fine. You'll be fine. It'll be we'll have a lovely time together. That's exactly what I would say to women. And do you know what? The sensible ones would jump on board because, and I'll tell you why, they're pragmatic. Because they know what they're getting. Stability, honesty, and just, you know, the idea that, you know, life, you want the big romance and the fuck off. Look what's happened to Tommy and Molly May. Exactly. Didn't last. Because she went with, you know, the influencer, the boxer, all of it. Kia Picanto. This guy. That's what you're going to get.
I reckon they'd agree with you.
I think so.
The ones that know what pragmatic even means.
Yeah, exactly, which is none of them on that show. I do. I think people need to be more pragmatic in life, Elliot. You know, all these people who want, you know, to be influencers and whatever. You're not going to get to 2,500 subscribers. It's not going to happen. You're not going to get to this level. Look at this. 2,500, less than 1,000 listeners on Spotify. This is the elite. This is what it is. This is playing for Real Madrid, New England Patriots, Chicago Bulls in 1995 with Jordan. This is the elite level. Most people don't get here. All most people can do is look at the mountain and aspire to climb it. Very few people can do what I do. Just get to the top of that mountain, 2,500 subscribers, and look out at the scum below you. I'm just saying, mate. Just saying, not everybody. I made this look easy, but it's not easy. It's because this is what talent is. Some people see us as a lunatic talking into a microphone about bollocks, but it's not. There's pace, there's precision, there's beauty, there's elegance, there's eloquence, there's softness, there's tenderness. There's all of it mixed in to one beautiful Kia Picanto.
So far in the opening segments of the show, we've warned people of the dangers of transmaxing.
Mm-hmm.
We've got an iron pilled.
Yeah.
And this week, I thought we'd cover a very big branch of the online community and men in general in the world, which is nice guys.
Yes.
And there's this massive thread on Reddit that's been going viral on Twitter.
Yeah.
Or X.
Yes.
And I don't upset Muskie. It's called Women Who Gave Nice Guys a Chance.
Yeah.
How did it work out?
Okay, let's see.
And it's just a bunch of replies.
Okay, let's see. Let's see it.
Here's the first one. He seemed a bit shy, but goofy, smart, and genuinely kind when he approached me.
Mm-hmm.
So I agreed to go out and we hit it off at first. Deep, meaningful conversation about our personal challenges, him quickly meeting my friends, and me being the first person he called after a family emergency. We were both pretty vulnerable, but things were seemingly progressing somewhat well. One day, he was on Tinder in bed next to me. And when called on it, he said that dating me had made him realize that he needed more confidence and experience with women, and thus needed to date a lot more different people, but that he only fucked the others at their houses, so I was obviously his number one. I freaked, cried, and broke things off. He called me the next day to casually ask me out to the new Hunger Games movie. I got an STD screening the next week. He harassed me at work for another 6 months. Smiley face.
Oh my God. I mean, like, do you know, here's the thing that I don't understand when it comes to women, birds. Like, I mean, I don't know about you. I can spot a dickhead from 6 paces. Like, where were her mates? Where were her mates going, he's a fucking wrong'un? Where were your mates? Where were your mates going, look, he's clearly a dick and there's something wrong with him. He was in Tinder. My God. He was on Tinder in bed neck. That's insane. Why weren't you on Raya like all celebrities? No, I didn't. I got turned down for Raya. Anyway, we don't have to talk about that. That's just quite sad. I was going to get Chris Williamson to recommend me for it. But
Oh, really?
yeah. But do you know what? Like, he owes me enough favours as it is, and he's already intimidated by my massive following.
And you didn't want to steal all the pool on Raya.
Yeah, exactly. He didn't need this bad boy coming in and just swooping in like the magnificent eagle that I am and snatch. Let's not call them prey. They don't like that. The ladies. Let's not call them prey. That sounds predatory, appropriately enough. But I just want to know where's the brother? Like, I don't mean that in like, yes, blood. You get me? I mean it like, where are your brothers? Your literal brothers. Where are the men? This is a problem with men, right? Is that we let other men commit these despicable acts when actually, if we put their head down a toilet, gave it a couple of bog flushes, it wouldn't be a problem. It wouldn't be a problem. I don't genuinely and also I don't understand the brazen nature of this. How can you sit next to a woman and be on Tinder? Well, I don't. Jack's walking off. Jack is one of our producers. He's actually leaving. It was clearly him, wasn't it, Jack? Absolute you're a disgrace. You're a disgrace. You should be embarrassed for yourself. Vile. I'm gonna dox him. I'm gonna dox you. You're gonna get doxed, and you're gonna get exposed as a horrible little man that you are. But by the way, can you give me some tips on how to chat women up? Because like this guy he sounded like he knew what he was talking about.
That's all he does. He's just got an AI software for the thumbnails that he does, and then the rest of the time he's on Tinder swiping.
Yeah,
I see him.
Yeah, exactly. He's just there cruising about, Like the little, you don't know Jack. So Jack is one of our video editors here. He's a very nice man with problematic views, blonde hair and a shaved head. That's all I'm saying. You can go wherever you want with that. Actually, I bet women like that when you invite them back to your own personal fatherland. I bet they want that, don't they? Don't they, Jack? Yeah. No, you don't. That's how you sort the women from the girls. There you go. So, fantastic. No, I don't understand. I just like, why do people behave like this? Why can't you just be nice? If you don't like a girl, or she's not, just go, look, it's not for me. You know, just be nice. Have a little bit of a spine about you. Just go, you know what? Look, it's not working out, love. I'm sorry, I thought I was into it. Turns out I'm not. She might get a bit upset. She might have a little cry. That's not very nice. You don't like women crying, but why have you got to be nasty about it? I don't know. I've never understood that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just be nice. Just be kind and considerate. And just go, it doesn't work. Don't go on Tinder. And right next to her as well. Mate, that is gross.
I found a new app.
What is it called?
It's called Fit Fuck.
Okay, what's Fit Fuck? I can guess what Fit Fuck is.
It's just for gym goers. You have to list your lifts.
This is ridiculous. Are you on this?
No.
Yes, of course you are. I wonder, I bet that is dominated by men and not women. And I'll tell you why. Because women don't think in that way. Women don't think in a way like, I'm going to put down my... What you've done, mate, is you've joined an app for gay men who work out. Now, which is fine. You crack on. If you want someone with roids and back acne to pummel the shit out of you, look, I'm all here for it. I am. I'm here for it. I think it's a beautiful thing. But you can't. You can't do that. There's no woman joining that app, mate. I'm telling you now. You're gonna get Big Derek with his massive angry cheeks just going nah, and he's gonna have these tiny little legs because he never does leg day because none of them ever do. So you're gonna be basically fucking a human roided up parsnip. That's what it's gonna be.
I did put my filter to females only, and the first person that came up was a massive steroided guy in a posing bikini.
Of course it is. There are no women on that app. There is not one single woman who would go. I mean, there will be. There will be about 6 of them. But by the time they've got to you, my friend, I'm telling you right now, don't touch it. And if you do, get some antibiotics the next day. That Fit to Fuck. No. Imagine meeting the love of your life on Fit to Fuck. Imagine doing that. What are you going to say at the wedding? Oh, yeah, we met online. All right, what was it? Was it eHarmony? Was it bettersouls.com or whatever it's called? Plenty of fish? No, it's Fit to Fuck. That's how I met the love of my life. Imagine looking in her dad's eyes and having to tell him that. How much is it to join Fit to Fuck?
It's free.
Of course it's free.
Apart from the grind to get there.
You're grind to get there. Do you have to have a certain look in order to be on Fit to Fuck?
You can probably still go on it, but it's like Tinder and Hinge. If you're not in that top 20%, you're not going to get anything.
What do you mean by the top 20%, Elliot?
It's the Pareto principle, isn't it?
Well, okay, come on. What does that mean?
The top 20% of all men get the top 80% of women.
Right.
And the bottom 80% of men get the bottom 20% of women.
Anyway, thanks for that, mate. What else did you learn on Chris Williams' podcast this week? Fair enough. I just couldn't imagine, Fit to Fuck. I mean, what type of woman would sign up to that? Even if you were into physical fitness, as some women are, some women like lifting, and I think it's great that there's lesbians. There's nothing wrong with it, right? Good all power to you, girls. No, I'm joking. But look, there's a lot of women who like lifting. A lot of women who I know who like lifting, there's a certain percentage of them who are bisexual, actually. And they enjoy lifting. But then there's a lot of women who are bisexual. Women are far naturally more bisexual than men. In fact, I've spoken to numerous gay men who've told me that bisexuality in men doesn't exist, and they're all basically men who are on the way to gay town but just can't admit it. So just something to think about for you there. Fit to Fuck. There we go. No, not for me. What about unfit to fuck?
I mean, maybe you could coin that and turn it into an app.
Yeah. if you're a lazy, fat, useless shit of a man, join this app where you can be with other men who are honest, as opposed to the roided up sociopaths at Elliot's on Elliot's app. How many matches did you get?
I haven't checked actually. Do you want me to check?
Yeah, let's check now. Let's check now to see how many matches you've got. So you've got one. Who was the bloke in the bikini?
I don't know his name. I didn't really look. I was a bit shocked, to be honest.
You're a bit shocked. No, you weren't. You were curious. That's what you were. You thought, could I? And then you realised you weren't man enough to handle it. No, I'm not man enough to handle it, actually. Oh, God, no.
Got someone called Michelle.
Michelle? And what's she
She's
like?
42.
Yeah, good age. Good age.
She's female.
Good. It's a good start, mate. Nowadays, that's a great start.
She's 100 centimetres tall.
What do you mean? She can't be a metre tall. What do you mean she's a metre tall? She can't. That's not the size of a primordial dwarf. You can't. No. You can't. No.
She's 40 inches tall.
She can't be 40 inches tall. It's like you bought her a toy shop. You can't. No, I'm refusing. This entire story of yours sounds utterly concocted. Fit to fuck, that's already ridiculous. You got a man in a bikini. I mean, that sounds very highly plausible. And then you got a primordial dwarf called Michelle.
She's 42.
Who's 42, who just... No.
She's your age.
I know. Mate, at the state I'm in, you know, maybe it's, there might be advantages to dating a primordial dwarf.
Like what?
Don't take up loads of the bed. Do you know what I mean? And then once you're finished with them, you just put them away in the closet and take them out tomorrow. You just put them away. There you go. Underneath, underneath the cupboard, where the shoes are, Yeah, you can't give them food and water. I'm not a fucking animal. Might be. I'm just saying, mate. I'm just saying. Relationships are difficult enough to make work as it is. Maybe that's what we need to do.
You wouldn't be able to go to the theme park with her. She wouldn't fit on any of the rides.
I wouldn't go to the theme park with her, Elliot, because I look like a fucking paedophile. That's the reason I wouldn't go to the theme park with her, mate, because I'd out myself as a nonce. Oh, look, isn't that the bloke from TRIGGERnometry? No, isn't that the bloke from Sort Your Life Out, the world's biggest YouTube channel? Correct. Why is she with a little girl? With a middle-aged face. What's he doing that for? It would start rumours, and I'm not having it. I am not having it. No, I can't do that, mate. I can't. People would, no. The rumours would start, the career would be over. And then the only place for me to work would be at the BBC. I can't. Couldn't do it. Couldn't do it, mate. There's only one Hugh Edwards. There can't be two. So, no, unfortunately not. I couldn't, it's a bad look. And I'm 6 foot. Yeah, no, it'd be terrible. A terrible look. Anyway, that app sounds disastrous and one that I'm not going near. I am not going on Fit to Fuck. Yeah?
All right.
Okay.
I'll check your phone next week.
Yeah.
So this first one's from Familiar Proof.
Yep.
And it is as follows. My partner and I are pretty new to being polyamorous.
Okay.
We opened up a few months ago. We've been married for about 8 years and we know there will be some growing pains. She went out for a date night with her new boyfriend and apparently they had sex. She never told me this. What happened was that she has an app called Reclip on her phone she uses to save funny stuff. And I've her added on the app. And whenever she clips audio with it, an AI gives it a title and sends a notification to her friends list, prompting you to ask for the clip. It's usually just for funny things, but at 1 a.m. when I got a notification from the app from her titled Sexy Times New Adventures, my heart dropped. I was emotionally devastated. Philosophically, I have no issue with anything that happened.
What do you mean philosophically? Well, what does that even mean? Philosophically. You've got no issue. Well, someone's just come in and fucking smashed your wife, shoved his salami in her, and philosophically you've got no problem with that. What's wrong with you? He's just absolutely thrown one up there, and you've got no problem with it. It's a fucking disgrace is what it is, mate. Philosophically, I've got a problem with you.
And I love and trust my partner, and I don't have any fear of her leaving me. I just can't get it out of my head.
I'm not surprised, mate.
So I talked to her about it the next day, and she said she did have sex with him. That hurt even more. He said that, she didn't say it.
Yeah.
The fact that she did not talk
Very
it
good.
over first, I can't stop picturing her having sex with another man. It tears me apart inside. He said that again.
So, well, what did you think was going to happen when you became polyamorous? What did you think? What did you even consider to be? I just, like, all these people who say they're going to become polyamorous, like, oh, it's the latest cool hip thing. Yeah, polyamory means someone else ramming your beloved, like giving you a bloody good scene to. It's not, this isn't a game. This is life. And by signing up to that, you're signing up to someone absolutely Ramboing her into the middle of next week. And what did you think? You know, look, there's a very small subsection of people who can handle this type of stuff, right? Perverts. But, no, I'm joking. There's a very small subsection of people who can do this. But the vast majority of people are simply not wired for this type of behavior. They're just not. They just can't do it. We're not programmed to be just go out. Well, maybe some people are, I don't know, but of course it's going to upset you. Of course. And with words like all philosophically, it's not fucking Plato, mate. This is life. No, you've absolutely fucked it here, mate. You have just opened the door to hell with this one. And you've got to face a choice, because she's gone out there and she's absolutely loved it, by all accounts. Just gone in, full steam ahead, absolutely gone there like the clappers, had a wonderful time. And you've been sat at home, because men always think, oh, I'm going to be inundated with minge here. You never are. You do. You think, oh, I'm going to go out on a minge binge now I'm single. There is no minge binge. There is no minge. It's the end. Like, and you're just facing there, and you're facing your evenings, and it's barren, and there's nothing. And your wife is going out and getting smashed left, right, and centre. And reality is, mate, you've only got yourself to blame for that. Now, somehow you've got to put the genie back in the box. Now, I don't know how you're going to do that. But, no, I mean, you can't. You can't have that. You can't have that. You can't have that. It's over. I'm not saying you can work it out, but I'm saying you can't let this present situation continue. And she's going to have to make a choice. Did it specify whose idea it was to be polyamorous?
No, it seems like it was a mutual thing.
Well, I'm telling you right now, my son, you've got a deal and you've done yourself up like a kipper here. So I think you're going to have to put the kibosh on it and say to her, look, I can't handle it. I can't deal with it anymore. I just want to be with you. And I don't know what to say to you, because if she doesn't agree to it, then you've got to agree to her going around getting absolutely bashed left, right, and centre. That ain't a good place for a man to be in. The very best of luck to you, but for me, you've got to say to her that you're not happy with it, and you've got to be brutally honest and have that unpleasant, difficult conversation. I think it's the only way. Would you ever do polyamory?
No.
No, I can't.
I couldn't.
Jack's just left because he's in a polyamorous relationship, and he's going to go and watch his missus now.
It's just the fear of the unknown. I don't know what she's doing.
Well, I know what she's fucking doing, mate.
Yeah, but you don't know what she's doing.
Well, you do know what she's doing.
Imagine she gets with a guy and he can bloody give her the Bombay somersault.
Exactly.
And you can't.
Exactly. Well, this is it, mate. This is it. This is it. So, look, I don't know what your name is. I don't know where you live, but you can't do it. I remember I taught a girl stand up, right? Well, she girl, woman, right? Stand up. And she told me that she was in a polyamorous relationship with her boyfriend at the time.
How old was she?
28, 29. And I remember saying to her, is life not difficult enough? Really? Aren't relationships hard enough without introducing all this bollocks into it? And she can handle it either, God bless her. So the entire, I don't know. No, it's not right. It's not natural. It's not natural. Not having it. Brexit.
This next one's from Pain07.
Good name.
I'm 18 years old and I'm attracted to my friend's mother.
Good start.
She's around 45 and married.
Beautiful age.
Her son is older than me.
Yes.
I'm sexually attracted to her.
Yes.
It's not just that she has big boobs or arse. She
Yes.
has a pretty face. I don't love her for anything. I just want to smash her. I'm jealous of her husband because he can do the things that I want to do and he can do them whenever he wants.
I don't think you really know how marriage works there, mate. I'm going to be honest with you.
Is this normal or should I forget about her and not think about her?
Right. So basically the question is, should I shag my mate's mum? That's the conundrum that I've been presented with. Okay. Is this you, Elliot?
No.
Yeah, right.
It was me a year ago when I was 18.
Okay. So this is what I would say to you. Do not do it, you little testosterone-filled moron. This is a problem with boys when they're 18 and 19, is that they think only with their penises. If you do it, you will destroy a friendship and you will destroy a marriage. And no woman in their right mind at the age of 45 would be interested in an 18, 19-year-old. The world is not one big porn film, unfortunately. Have you just been watching like MILF? Was it we who talked about this MILF Mansion?
Yeah.
Life is not MILF Mansion, despite how much you desire it to be so. What you have is a sexual hard-on for an older lady, and good on you. I'm very happy for you. It is a rite of passage, and most people don't have polyamory, or they don't practice polyamory, all right? So, my advice would be, don't do it. Go and deal with the situation on your own, like a man, and get on with your life. The very last thing that you want to do is hit on your mate's mum. You dirty little boy. Unless she's really fit, in which case, go for it. No, don't do that. Don't do that. That's the worst thing about getting older. One of the worst things. You can't rinse your mates for having a fit mum anymore. That's tragic because when you're 18, I remember we used to absolutely rinse some of our mates for having fit mums. It was wonderful. I remember my mate at uni, his mum turned up with a pair of thigh-high boots. Magnificent. And we rinsed him for years about it. No, it wasn't even thigh-high. They were like knee-length boots. And we just rinsed him. We just did. And whenever we were talking and he was just started to be a bit of a dick, we just go around and go, mate, your mum is really fit. Win any argument like that. Doesn't matter. Boom. He was there. And it pissed him off because he knew it was true. So it just makes me nostalgic for a time where my mates had fit mums.
I think it's a sign that you've hit puberty is having a crush on one of your mates' mums.
Oh, yeah. I remember one of my mates, Eduardo, at school. I think I was 12, 13. And his mum she must have been around mid-30s at this point. She must have been maybe slightly even younger. And she came in a pair of jean shorts. It was the summer. White tank top. Oh, my God. She was just amazing. Just couldn't. It was. Great lad, Eduardo. Very nice man. And wherever you are, you're probably watching because we have a massive followership. Yeah, one of the fittest mums I ever saw. But no, don't. Some things, Elliot, in life should remain a fantasy. Like Michelle and the bloke in the bikini. They should remain fantasies, not real life.
I had one of my fantasies come true when I was a little boy.
All right, what was this?
I was about 9 years old.
Yeah.
And we used to always rinse my best mate for having a really fit mum.
Yeah.
And
at 9?
Yeah.
I didn't even... Fuck me, you lot are growing up too quickly. All right, so you rinsed your best mate's mum for... Right, okay, go on. 9?
Yeah.
You don't even... No wonder.
Year 5.
Okay, go on.
And one day we were at his house.
Yeah.
And for some reason, we all collectively decided to have a bit of a snoop in the parents' bedroom because they were still together.
Right.
And we walked in and we opened what we later called the naughty drawer.
Yeah.
And in there was just every single sex toy imaginable under the sun.
Yeah.
And it was all black coloured as well. He had a white dad.
But he's now got a mixed race half brother. And we love Devontae. He's a great lad. And you know what? He's a good boy. He's a good boy. Okay. And then you found him. What did you do with the sex toys?
Just took a picture with them, quick selfie, and then popped them
Quick
back in the drawer.
selfie with a dildo. What the fuck's wrong with you? What kind of... It's not the fucking Colosseum, mate. You know, in Rome, you just like take a photo, or like you tease me with a Leaning Tower of Pizza. It's you with a... I was going to say don't know where that's been, but you absolutely know where it's been, and maybe that's why you liked it. But
Well, it wasn't anything sexual.
what do you mean? I think you'll find it is sexual, Elliot.
Thumbs up, smile. And then we
What,
put it
with a
back.
dildo? I think you'll find that's highly sexual, my friend. How big was it?
It was pretty big, yeah.
Yeah, so I imagine it wasn't there for decorative purposes.
Let's just agree to disagree.
Right, okay. So anyway, 9-year-old taking photos with dildos. Fuck me, if this doesn't get demonetized, I don't know what will. Thank you.
This next one.
Yeah.
Hi, Francis.
Mhm.
When I was 12, my family and I went to a restaurant where we saw Stephen Hawking and a couple of his carers sat on a table in front of us about 5 meters away.
The great man himself, yeah.
We were shocked, but didn't want to make a big deal out of it and be annoying, so we tried to act normal, only glancing at him a couple times.
Mm-hmm.
This was working well until my starter came. It was chicken satay, which I didn't know at the time meant chicken in a peanut sauce. And what I also didn't know at the time is that I have a raging peanut allergy, to the point where I now carry an EpiPen with me. So whilst I'm eating this food, I started feeling really ill, cringing with every bite until I couldn't force myself to eat anymore. I felt so bad I stepped out to the patio of the restaurant to get some fresh air. A couple minutes go by and mouth sweats creep in, and I know I'm about to throw up. Although it was far and the nausea was overbearing, I decided to make a mad dash for the toilet as I ripped the patio doors open with determination. However, I only managed a couple of paces before my stomach erupted, the most intense, diaphragm-crushing projectile vomit to leave my mouth like a high-pressure water fountain. It was so intense, I was winded and fell to my knees, and as I did, I looked at the floor only to see a pair of shoes covered in sick in front of me. As my eyes travelled up, I saw the wheelchair and wrinkly hands on this person's lap. I then thought, holy shit, I've just thrown up on an old disabled person. Finally, after a couple of moments, I looked fully up to see my victim, Stephen Hawking, staring back at me. I gasped in horror, and as I did, another wave of vomit left my mouth and fell onto his top, utterly soaking his t-shirt.
I mean, is that true? I mean, the thing is, right, it's not something you'd make up, is it? Would you? I mean, what's the dilemma there? There's no real dilemma. The only dilemma is that you have to apologise to the poor man. You know, Stephen Hawking used to love a strip club.
How do you know this?
It's true. Because I used to, what was it? I was at a party with a girl who was a stripper at Stringfellows, and she danced for Stephen Hawking. Yeah. And I asked her, what was he like? And she said he was an absolute gentleman and very generous with tips. Genuinely. He was a bit of a ladies' man. He used to love, Stephen used to love a little bit of minge, mate. And he used to go to strip clubs, in particular Stringfellows. You know Stringfellows?
No.
Right, Stringfellows is probably the most famous out of all the strip clubs.
Is that where Prince Andrew went?
Probably, mate, yeah. Yeah. I imagine that Andrew is no stranger to a strip club. But yeah, so he went, and anyway, this girl was there, and I remember her, and I met her at a party. She's really nice, actually. And she was talking about, that she danced for Stephen Hawking, and he was very nice. And he went there, and yeah, she gave him the old, the old sensual dance. Gave him that, and he was like, "This is great." Do you know? I remember when I started out in comedy, there was a comedian. He was really funny actually on the open mic called Ian Baker, and this was 2010, and this was before Stephen Hawking died. So this was 14 years ago. Jesus. Anyway, and his closing bit was singing Sean Paul's "Get Busy" like Stephen Hawking. And he used to sing the entire song like Stephen Hawking. And he was brilliant at it. And listen, there is no way that you could ever compete with him. The moment he went, dun, 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 that song, "Get Busy," He went, but he used to do a pitch perfect Stephen Hawking's impression, and he used to smash it. It was 2010, mate. Simpler times. Absolutely crushed it and the crowd went wild, and we were all like, so how am I going to compare that? How am I going to compare my jokes to that? I can't do that. He was incredible. Skiing Baker, wherever you are, God bless you.
Was Stephen Hawking not married?
He was married twice, mate. He was married twice. I think twice. And I think he ended up cheating on his wife with someone else. I don't know how that works, but he did.
How would you sneak around behind the back of your wife?
I don't know, mate. But you've also got to remember he was in Cambridge. He was doing all of that stuff. Yeah, there you go. That's it. Jack pops up. She's carer. Yeah, so he was getting noshed off by his carer, mate. Do you know what? That's inspiring. It really is. That is a man crippled by one of the most horrendous illnesses known to man. It takes everything from you, including your dignity. And yet he was still one of the most prominent astrophysicists. He was still lectured. He wrote a best-selling book that people got halfway through and then went, oh, fuck, look, I'll just tell people I've read it. Right? Brief History of Time. And he was a shagger. Went to Epstein's Island. What have you done? What have you done? You been to Epstein's Island?
Yeah.
Have you got a PhD in astrophysics?
I just wasn't on the good end of that one.
Yeah. You got a PhD in astrophysics?
No.
Have you lectured? Have you changed the world the way people... Have you changed the way people see the world and mathematics and space? No. A great man. Listen, he lived a life we can only dream of. Stephen Hawkins, we salute you.
This is from Maudie Gerards.
Yep.
Dear Francis.
Yes.
You, as a former teacher, know how difficult yet rewarding the teaching job can be.
Yes.
I've been teaching for 12 years now, but I feel spent.
Yeah.
A lot became clear by listening to Jonathan Haidt about the students changing after 2014, and I can relate.
Yeah.
I especially struggle with upset, confused, vulnerable teenage female students who are now all of a sudden trans.
Yeah.
I feel I have nothing more to give to my students. On top of that, I'm 3 months from graduating and I just can't get myself to do it because I'm not sure if I want to be a teacher anymore. Please provide your excellent advice.
3 months from graduating, what? Does she specify?
No, but it's a burnt out 43-year-old teacher.
You know, so it's Maudie, which is a nice name. I like the name Maudie. All right, Maudie. Teaching is a uniquely demanding profession. I don't think anybody really understands unless you've done the job. Unless you stood there day after day in front of kids, 30 kids, trying to get the little buggers to learn, whilst also at the same time making sure that everybody's engaged in the lesson, that they're all progressing as best they can be, catering to the vast variety of different abilities in your classroom, as well as supporting them pastorally, because there's a lot of kids who've got awful home lives that you have to support and deal with, and it does take its toll. I'll be honest with you, Maudie, after about 8-9 years, I was done in teaching. I hung on for 12 because I cut down my time again and again. I would say to you, Maudie, why don't you take a break? I mean, look, finances permitting, I don't know what your personal circumstances are, but there's a lot that you can do. There's a lot of places that you can go. I would start looking around and start thinking to yourself, what is it that you want to do? Maybe you still want to teach, but maybe you need a break. Maybe you just want to go and do a different job for a few years. That's fine. What you don't want to do is you don't want to end up as one of those old, bitter, angry teachers hanging on to the very end, counting down the days to your pension, because that is, brutally honest, a waste of a life. Don't do that. And it's not fair on the kids either. And there's still wonderful kids who want to be taught and thirsty to learn. So, Maudie, my advice to you would be this. Have a think about what is it that interests you outside of teaching. Could you live on a reduced salary? Could you do maybe a little bit of tutoring? You can earn very good money for it. And maybe that would be able to cover you for a year whilst you assess your options. But I think, Maudie, what it sounds like is that you need a break and a change. And if you're feeling burnt out by it, maybe that's exactly what you need to do. You need to accept that you're not at your optimum, which is fine, and look out into other ventures that you can possibly do. things that you can possibly do to tide you over for the meantime financially before finding something a little bit more stable. And even if it's just for a year, maybe that's all you need. Just some time off to actually just genuinely focus and work out what it is that you want from the rest of your life. Because you're still a young woman, you're 43. There's no such thing as retirement anymore, so you can forget about that, Mordy. What is it that you want? It's a long life, Mordy. And if you're not happy, I would suggest have a look around, speak to people, take some advice. And if you can, take a year off and look at other options you can do. But you can earn a lot of money being a tutor. And maybe that might be good. Just doing something a little bit less intense for a year whilst you work out what it is that you want.
This next one's also a career advice question. It's from I'm Just There, So Be It.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in desperate need of a work-from-home job, and other than Google, I'm not sure where to start, and I don't have family or friends I can ask for references or insider tips. I'm a certified management accountant that can't find work in my own field because almost everywhere around me requires that I speak Spanish, even after a great interview.
Why Spanish?
Doesn't say. I have a good background with customer service in many areas and a resume to die for. At this point, I'm open to any job that doesn't require so many qualifications and years of experience that is within my range or something I can learn that doesn't require a degree. Any tips?
Look, why don't you just go set up your own thing? The great thing about being an accountant is you can literally work from anywhere. Just ask around with people who need their books done. Everybody always needs their books done. I would say, look, get yourself a nice website, put yourself out there, talk to people and say to them, look, I'm here. I'm a very good accountant. I'm excellent at what I do. I don't know why. Is she in Spain or something? If she's in Spain and trying to get a job, because she's going to speak Spanish and she fucking deserves it. But apart from that, or if it's a he, it's a she, isn't it?
It's a she. I get the impression that she's in the south of the US where you sort of have to speak Spanish.
Oh, right. Well, she has to speak Spanish. Right, okay. Tell them to speak English. No. I would suggest what you do is we are all on the beautiful World Wide Web. You need to get yourself a website. And then what you need to do is get your name out there and start working with people. And it may have to be for less than you want at the moment, but eventually you can build it back up. And I would advise you to do your own business and make your own contacts. And if you are good, which I'm sure you are, in a matter of years, people will talk about you. They'll say how great you are. And you'll be able to be freelance and working from home and not having to commute, which actually would be the best thing, I believe. So if I were you, what I would do is put your name out there, put the feelers out, say that you want to set yourself up as independent and go and become an accountant on the World Wide Web. That's what I'd do. But what do I know? I don't know anything about accountancy. Oh, tú puedes hablar español. Aprende el español. Ay, ay, ay. Ay, Dios mío. These burritos are hot.
Is there a way of maybe blending your suggestion of OnlyFans with the accountancy?
I thought it was Spanish.
Huh?
With Spanish OnlyFans.
Yeah, that's
Oh yeah, we could do like that would be good, wouldn't it? Accountancy mixed with OnlyFans. That, you know what, that'd be good. So what you could do is every time they get a mathematical question right, you take off an item of clothing. And every time they get it wrong, you put it back on again. Thereby, you get the interactive element whilst also inserting a note of jeopardy into proceedings that I'm sure most men and some women would actually find quite titillating. Maybe we could do that. You'd do that, wouldn't you?
Is that a word?
What, titillating?
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
What does it mean?
It means to stimulate erotically. Titillating. There you go. You're learning. You're thinking. You're listening. You're laughing and you're learning. That's why we've got 2,500 subscribers, because we are the best. Better than all the rest. Better than anyone I've ever met. Those are the Tina Turner's words, not mine, but you get the point.
This is from George.
Yes, George.
I was bored one day and thought it would be funny to steal my dad's phone and saw a message from a guy saying, "I can't wait to kiss your feet." And found out my dad was in a gay relationship with his best friend and both had a foot fetish. I was so mortified, I chucked my dad's phone and cracked the screen. How do I cover up what I have seen and done?
Well, you fucked, haven't you, George? Number one, you should never, ever look at anyone's phone, right? Number one, don't ever do it. Don't ever do it. Don't ever, because you are going to find things on there that you're not happy about. You know what I mean? Like, you know, like the fact Jack is a former member of the EDL, like, you know, I mean, I thought he was a bit young, but You can't do it. You're just going to have to die with this secret. You're never going to confront him. You're not going to do any of that. You're just going to have to die with this secret. Your dad's been a good man. He's held it together. He's provided everything for you. He's made you grow up to be, well, not that good because you go for his phone when he's not looking. But he has done his best for you. And all he wants is to be wanked off by his best friend with his feet. Let him. Stop being so selfish. Life is hard. Your dad has a job. He's stressed. He has a boss telling him what to do. He's got mortgages, bills to pay. Yet he turns up every single day to do what's right. Why shouldn't he get a foot job? Stop being selfish. I mean, like, imagine being into male feet. That is disgusting. Like, I reckon even gay men aren't into male feet. That's vile. Oh, look, I'll be honest with you. I think anybody who's into feet is a bit weird. Like, you know, they got like, if someone told me like they were like, if someone went like, I'm an incredible person, blah, 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 then they had a foot fetish, I'd think less of them. I wouldn't trust them. Like, if I had a kid, I wouldn't trust them to babysit my kid. I mean, unless it was fucking ugly, and in which case it wouldn't matter. You know what I mean? But nah, a foot fetish, no, mate, a foot fetish is wrong. I don't agree with it. I don't agree with it. I think it's borderline pedo behaviour. It makes me go, ugh. What about you? Do you like a foot fetish?
Definitely not.
Apparently it's 10% of the population that have a foot fetish. It's just like, I've always thought to myself, like, if you're one of those people, I think it must be quite upsetting. Imagine like you're discovering yourself sexually and you're like, ugh, this is what I'm into? That moment? You're like, oh, I thought I would be into, I don't know, hot nubile blondes. But no, I'm into, I don't know, African women's feet. I mean, there's nothing wrong with African women, or even white women's feet, or even Asian women's, I don't know, I just find it weird. You know what I mean? It's not for me.
Do you reckon they'd have that level of introspection?
No, if it's a man, it would just be like, and just move on with it. That's what, men are disgusting, mate. Oh, God. Anyway.
This is the last one of the day.
Yep.
It's from Claudia.
Yep.
What the bloody hell is the Bombay somersault? Dear Guru Francis, the other day, a young gentleman asked my advice about finding a good wife.
Yes.
I'm not good at giving advice, so to look cool and down with the modern lingo, I gave your advice that you gave to this question on your podcast.
Yeah.
I told him to find a woman who will do the Bombay somersault with him.
Yeah.
He asked me what that was. I was shocked because I thought he would know. I had to admit that I was talking out my ass. I tried to look it up on Google, but it only gave me a suggestion to look into the Kama Sutra.
Yes.
There is no Bombay somersault in the Kama Sutra. I asked ChatGPT, and even that all-knowing God is stumped. So Francis Foster, what the bloody hell is the Bombay somersault?
The Bombay somersault is my finishing move, which will only be known to me. Because once done, it can never be undone. So I'm not going to tell you. The secret will die with me. Only the lovely, beautiful ladies who have experienced it, and Jack, will know what it is. That's why he keeps working here, mate. That's why he chooses to work in this room. It's because he got the Bombay somersault and he's coming back for more.
I taught him one as well.
Yeah, exactly. Do you know when you feed a cat on holiday and it just follows you around? It's like that.
I taught him the Neanderthal punch choke donkey piss.
Exactly. Young people.
That's it.
That's it. Come to my show with Leo Kurz on the 30th of August. We sold out the first show. Now we're going to sell out the second show. Links in the description. 30th of August. Be there. Free Bombay somersault for everyone who comes.